feel like Shadow has a very, very important early game to play out. You have to be able to, one, answer Xiaohao, but also get into one of these lanes, either onto this Annie or onto this Gangplank, and get kills and flashes away early to make sure that your top side of the map can start fighting, because there's a lot of damage from AL, and if they manage to escape up until level 6, I really feel like NIP can struggle.
So I've just had a little look at the stats. This is the first professional Gangplank game of the split. Aside from one game in the GLL, which I believe is the Greek league.
I know who that would have been. That would have been, was that Acidy who played that, ACD?
He's a huge Gangplank. Sky Sunday.
Oh, okay, right. They actually have a load of GP mains randomly in that one ERL.
Yeah, it's a first strike angle. And, it's the Essence Reeve and Devori Quick Blades, the kind of one-shot style where you're slamming out barrels and slamming out damage. Invincible going to have his work cut out. He locked in the Gnar in game number 1. That was against a Sion. This time, ZDZ bringing a bit of fire to that top lane with the Gangplank. We'll see if he can carry this one. We don't get many carry top laner games here in the LPL at the minute, and I'm excited to see what ZDZ can do with his hands on Gangplank.
Gangplank, if you manage to have a safe laning phase and you manage to escape those first few levels and don't get your flash blown, don't die, is such a menace. Heck, even if you do die multiple times early game, if the game extends long enough, we all know what a fed Gangplank can do. That'll be what AL would like to have in the back pocket to see if they can bring this to a game 3.
So here we go into the game. It's kind of an interesting draft, honestly, from anyone's legend, considering the fact that they went for the Xayah Rakan so early, and now we finish off with Viego and Gangplank in the top side. Not something I think many people at home would have been expecting today. On the side of NIP, relatively standard. Obviously, the Poppy coming on through as an answer to that Rakan, as an answer to Xiaohao's Viego as well. I don't think the most value I've seen in a Poppy pick, but I think you're pretty much just picking that for the Rakan, right?
I think you're picking it for your first 3 levels and your first 2 clears. I don't necessarily think it's great as the game goes on if you don't find that lead. As you said, the actual kind of anti-dash synergy is not completely there, but you do have the ability to...
And Photic now chasing down iBoy. Gravitum is there. iBoy low on HP, doesn't find the route himself, and Photic double Gravitum in. That's a heal come out from iBoy, forced to flash as well. Zora now next target, and here comes Shadow. iBoy no sums, gets flashed on Zora over the wall, Xiaohao over the wall. Every summoner under the sun popped by AL, and Shadow wants a little bit more.
Photo Control just destroyed a 2v3. Shadow picks up a kill from that too. What were we saying? We wanted to see Shadow with some early pressure, getting an early lead to keep ahead of the curve on this Poppy pick as well. He's handed that on a complete silver platter by this Aphelios Milio ridiculous combo.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff coming out. This should have been a pretty clean down. I like the idea of diving to Milio, but in execution, it's disastrous.
So, how does Zora pick a baggro here? He autos after the W misses. And as soon as that happens, I think you realize that the HP bars are just not there from AL to make anything work. Xiaohao loses the red buff some point as well, doesn't have that for the rest of that trade. And really good awareness from Photic and Jor to really make the most out of that situation.
Possible, going for ZDZ, forced to flash away here, and still just being absolutely beaten down by Invincible. But ZDZ not running. Why are you running into the wall?
I don't know. There are some things it's better off not knowing. Angel gets involved on the bot side of the map as well. Picks up the Dark Seal first item, immediately gets a kill. Wonderful stuff from the Snowball play on the Ahri in the mid lane too. Because you are at the level down already, you're level 6 to level 5, you know the extra CC is available. If you flash away and you trade flash for flash, I would imagine we're going to see this now, okay? So ZDZ, I think he's at a point where he doesn't know what's happening with the wave and he wants to shove that in. I think that's a very difficult point. I think if he manages to get a barrel onto the back minions, even then he doesn't kill them. It's just a bit of a misread and he's getting caught out again. ZDZ, buddy, what's happening?
Yeah, ZDZ is having a bit of an apple crumble this game. Oh, the slow doesn't land. Shadow, he's Invincible gets himself second kill.
Angel has the spellbook, switched over to the Ignite. Can't use that to now teleport back onto the map, so has to kind of sit back in lane. It means that they're not available for something. Angel.
Ooh, that's a great charm. Harders underneath the tower. Tip is on cooldown here as Ignite comes down. Angel still has one more proc. Over Deception out. And flashes for it. Harder taken down as Angel finds himself a solo kill. Tibbers is real angry, but he won't find the kill. Have tried to put on that bottom lane. Invincible might be caught out on the top side. Flash for the stun. The Tibbers is there. Invincible going the wrong way on the map as well. And will be taken down. Xiaohao takes the kill as the Herald gets its charge down in the mid lane. And Photic can continue that push, although iBoy's making a play. And here comes Zora as well. They don't find the kill. They don't find the moment. Shadow actually going underneath the tower. Everfrost from Angel, a good charm as well. But a stopwatch from Zora keeps himself alive. TP coming through as Harder is behind, but misses his stun with the Incinerate.
One more charge.
Wants it. The charm actually lands. And Invincible here to follow up with a long-range damage. But can they finish the job? Tibbers to buy space. Calibrum dodged by Harder. And you have to... I feel like this is the kind of series where we're trying to calibrate expectations. I'll come back to this point as it was a good engage to start with, but the knockback from Dwarf ruins Zora.
It does, and also, I mean, you have the ultimate coming in from Milio as well, so that's the cleanse coming through. The cleanse and the heal means that this stand and fight a Phalios type champion, you can sit there and
the W denies the engage from Xiaohao. There's the follow for the rest of the team! Where did Xiaohao go? What a combo from NIP. Beautifully played there. And turns out the misstep coming out from AL rather than NIP. And now Baron is on the map, and if the jungler picked off, it's free pickings.
Yeah, Act 2 once again, 20 minutes past, Baron on the table, and the first mistake beyond that 20-minute mark is weighing that much harder. Harder has that flash, using the extended blast cone to get into a better angle. Can he get here in time?
Baron on 3k, flashes in. Tibbers doesn't really do much, and Harder pretty much just dies in the Baron pit. Photic getting the kill as Joel was tanking Baron for a bit there. Angel wants a little bit more onto Zora, but is all on cooldown at this point. Zora will be able to get out with his life, I think. The flash charm at iBoy, but Featherstorm, good reactions there. But ZDZ will have to be the sacrificial lamb here, or will he? Trying to escape, but will not be able to get anywhere. And Angel
sees him.
He doesn't want to let them recall here. He's trying to find a moment. Everfrost comes
Oh, the empowered
through.
recalls!
They actually both got out!
It's the Zyrakan special recall. Because one of them started before the other, manages to tag onto that. Both of them get out alive. They're not going to, of course, be able to stop this Baron push coming through, but at least they managed to get themselves away with their lives. But that's been the story the entire game. AL fighting tooth and nail to just get away with their lives. Harder is in by himself again. And this is something that we picked up from the first game as well. Individually, okay play, gets a multi-man stun, but it's nowhere near to the rest of his team. The Gangplank ult very much helps as well in regards to trying to disengage that Baron. Doesn't stop it going down at the end of the day, though, and they lose some members on the retreat.
You can see... Oh. iBoy's died in the live version of the game here as the charm goes wide, and Zora chased out by Shadow. You could see the idea, right? You could see the idea from AL where Harder goes in, the Gangplank ult is there, and you can see Zora trying to make his way over as well, but he was slowed by Invincible as Shadow does get knocked up. Zora...
No one on NIP is coming, by the way. It's literally just Shadow chasing down the support. Everyone else is pushing mid-wave. They don't care to kill the Rakan.
I feel like at this point, though, is this actually positive for NIP? Like, I feel like Shadow being with the team as the kind of the front line for this squad maybe would be more valuable. But I guess when you're this strong, you got Baron.
Angle here.
Doesn't really
actually
matter.
Coming up behind them.
Wait
guys, you know Zora's here, right?
Quickness.
He's ulting.
Here we go, onto Photic, but he cleanses and he flashes and he just kills Zora instead!
Oh, no.
He just one-shots the guy, and it's a great little gnaw from Invincible as well. ZDZ next to fall. I was excited for the Gangplank pick, but it has been disastrous this game.
I think Invincible was excited for that one too. Really, really wrecking that lane.
Yeah, yeah. This was nothing like game number one. This was brutal. This was... I don't know. AL going to be going back to the drawing board off of this one and wondering what went wrong, to be honest. But NIP looking fantastic. This early game was absolutely beautiful from them, punishing every single misstep. And the snowball was quick and decisive, right? Didn't give them a moment to breathe.
Really want to hone in on that as well, because part of that snowball came from, once again, on Angel. That Ahri was banned away first round bans in game one. And with that second game, you can really understand why. I don't often say this, I'm a big fan of how Angel builds Ahri. He's thrown out some different items in there. He had a Lichbane game the other day as well. He's a Medjai's build, which I've always been a big proponent of. Sitting on early stopwatches, which save you gold instead of building up into the full Zhonyas. It's the small things like this